Hey everybody, so the car is done and it is now for sale. It's been for sale. I had it listed on classiccars.com and I listed it on eBay Motors, and my asking price is $65,000. And how I arrived at that was all the parts and materials that went into rebuilding the car, and I decided to pay myself about $3.50 an hour for what I calculated was probably 2,000 hours worth of work. So that got me very close to 65. So that was my reasoning behind it. And I think if somebody who's been through a complete frame-off restoration looked at that and did everything and put all the parts in that I did, I think they'll get that that's actually quite reasonable. Now, you can open up all sorts of websites and find good-looking cars on the surface for less, sure, no question. But the amount of details, the amount of rebuild, the amount that's new on this, I think that's a pretty fair number. So it'll be interesting to see what the market says and does. I am not in a hurry to get rid of it. It's fun to drive. It gets lots of oohs and ahs at car shows. It's really quick. It's not race car quick, but it's fast and handles great. And so I feel like I get the right person who really loves the look. They drive it, and I think it's a no-brainer. I think the trick is going to be finding that person. So anyway, that's where I'm at. As far as the car goes, it was a complete frame-off restoration. Frame was cleaned up and boxed. Everything's straight. Body had enormous amounts of sheet metal replacement on it. Body gaps are way better than anything GM put out in the late 60s. I've got welded rod on most of the doors just to tighten the gaps and get everything perfect, along with the deck lid, window trim, all that kind of stuff. It's got four-wheel disc brake. It's got coil-over suspension, sway bars front and rear from QA1. New steering box. It's got Dakota digital dash. It's got vintage air conditioning. It's got the Holley Sniper in-tank fuel pump, gas tank conversion for LS swaps. It's got the Frostbite 3-row aluminum radiator, again with the crossover for the LS swap. It's got a beautiful paint job on it. It looks kind of poured on, and you can dig up tons of details on the other videos on this YouTube channel, but this is still just more of a kind of an overview. It's got a good sound system in it. It's got an original looking stereo, yet it's Bluetooth. So the dash isn't butchered to get a more modern one in there. Let's see how the camera does with interior. Oh yeah, custom interior, new headliner of course, and color coordinated with the paint job. Console I built, had an upholsterer do the seats to coordinate and do the console, but I did that. That's a low car shifter. Let's see how the lighting does with the dash. So there's the Dakota digital, and there's that side. A better picture or video of that. And then the vintage air controls integrate with the original dash, and then obviously the stereos there. All of the electronics and relays and fuses are in the glove box. Let's see if I can gracefully, or halfway gracefully, show that off. So you've got all that, and then the computer is tucked up in there, and it's pretty tidy. I'll do an edit in a second here to get to the engine compartment. Let's finish up the interior. And bucket seats are comfortable. Back seat looks good. I don't know that this car is really going to see a lot of backseat activity unless somebody buys it who wants to throw the kids in the back there and cruise. There's room. It works. Seat belts, the whole thing. And yeah, okay, well, let's just walk to the front since we're at it. Let's see how that works. Oh wait, no. The front's going to be a two-handed to get that hood open, so I'll edit that in. You can hear the background. It's running, and what's in there is an LM7 5.3 liter, and there is dual exhaust, long tube headers coming down to the dual exhaust with a crossover out the back, and you can certainly beef up the sound if you wanted a gutsier sounding muffler, but I like this. It gets it done. All right, hold on a second. We'll get the engine compartment open. So after I built my first Chevelle, I started almost immediately in on this one. This was a rusted out shell of a car that needed a huge amount of sheet metal repair, and in the process of doing all that, I also decided that there were a lot of little details that I would have probably done differently on my first car had I gone through that before. And so I really wanted to build another one because I just wanted to create a tidy looking, not full custom, but you know, a kind of a conservative, let's make this look clean, let's make this look fun, but not go absolutely crazy with custom panels. And so a lot of the details on this car were born from having done one before, and you know, what are the little steps that matter. And one of the big ones that I thought would really make a project like this look a little bit more fun would be if that firewall was clean. So I moved all the electronics for the engine management into the glove box, leaving that wide open, which I just think really cleans up the engine bay. It's still an LS. It still has the coils sitting on the valve covers. It still has kind of a big bulky looking intake, and it still has an accessory drive in the front that could always look better, but it is what it is. And it is, I'll tell you, it's just, but you got a ton of space in here. If someone wanted to pull this engine out and upgrade it to any other LS platform, there'd certainly be tons of room for it. There's so much room in these engine bays that you can easily put a turbo or even a twin turbo in if you move the battery out of there. So the sky is the limit. But again, this car is presented as this thing is fun. It looks good. It gets a lot of oohs and ahs at the car shows, but you can certainly do more with it if you want, or you can keep it just as is, or just make little improvements as you desire. It's got a 4L60E behind the engine, which again was original to the donor vehicle, which was an 03 Tahoe. And dynoed, this thing made just shy of 300 horsepower. It made 299.6 at the wheels. Obviously I would have loved to say 300, but hey, I got to sleep at night. So 299.6, and it is fast. It's not race car fast, but it's fun. And so there's an underhood. The radiator is a Frostbite 3-row aluminum. The brake booster and master cylinder is Right Stuff, which is a company that does a lot of disc conversions on classic cars. And again, 4-wheel disc with that booster. Car stops great. There we go. So hopefully this gives you an idea of what the car is about. And feel free to ask questions. And thank you much.